What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the StayWeighedIn YouTube channel. I'm joined by my man Sugar Ray. How are you, man?
I am absolutely getting beat down in this heat, man. This is crazy. So other than that, man, I'm surviving, man. How about yourself?
I'm with you. I'm with you. We were speaking off air about heat stroke and stuff, and it's hitting it. This, I'd say, because it's been a long week of heat. This was worse than them 2-3 days that we had beforehand. I think because
You feel? Oh,
I didn't feel it as much. Now I feel it more. Like if I go outside today, I'm going to feel it, but I didn't feel it back then.
that I don't know about. It's just at this point, I'm just getting.
Give me the rain.
The heat is no, not. Do you know what? We just need aircon. That's the only thing. But I don't recall having this much heat in the UK, exceeding like 30 degrees regularly. Like it's crazy, and like I said, this is why I miss Ghana, because Ghana was like it's hot, but
It's nice.
all the indoor places you have like aircon, so it's calm. Whereas the UK, obviously, we're not really used to this type of heat, so we're not prepared for it. And
Do you know what?
aircon's like a real luxury here.
I was going to say I'm with you on that, but one thing we are prepared for is boxing fights.
Indeed.
And today we're here. We're previewing the big one, and Oleksandr Usyk versus Anthony Joshua.
There we go.
I was going with Joshua Usyk, but it's officially built as Usyk versus Joshua 2.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so as well. So I want to go straight into this fight with pressure. Usyk wins the first fight. Joshua loses the first fight, loses all his bets, goes to. Going into this, how much pressure is Anthony Joshua to deliver a win here?
I'd like to say he hasn't got no pressure because he hasn't got the belts and everything, but that is a lie. This guy has been built as the face of UK boxing, the face of heavyweight boxing, despite the antics of Wilder, despite the antics of that guy that wants to retire and retire, he shall not be named. Everyone knows that the money goes through AJ. No matter how much people try to disparage his name, AJ is the cash cow in boxing, undeniable. I think even more than Canelo, because who else is getting paid a site fee that AJ is getting? And this is the second time.
You're right. I hear you.
This is the second time. You can't tell me it's Canelo. Canelo, don't get me wrong. Canelo, I think people call Canelo the face of boxing because Americans love this thing of like, Americans love to be the face of boxing. And I think because they have a close connection to Canelo of like, obviously, same continent, he lives in America now, he's embracing speaking English. So it's kind of like, via proxy, they keep on saying Canelo's the face of boxing to make themselves feel better. It's AJ, man. Who else is getting money like this? It's AJ. But yeah, the pressure's on him. The pressure's on him also because you got a lot of people in the UK, for whatever reason, with this weird behavior, they decide to turn his back on him for whatever. And then now he's on the quest to become 3-time champion and hopefully undisputed when that guy, you already know who that guy is. He's going to unretire as soon as AJ. If AJ wins, he will unretire and want this undisputed fight. That's for sure.
And I guess, so we've got, let's go with, if Joshua was to win, we know the deal he signed with DAZN. When you look at someone like Usyk going forward, would he want fight number 3, or would he be looking at different avenues? And could we get another trilogy?
If Usyk loses, this is what happens. AJ goes on to fight Fury for the undisputed, and then however that fight ends up, the belts will be disbanded, and Usyk can wait to fight for one of the other titles. I honestly think the winner of, even maybe the winner and loser, if there's an AJ and Fury fight, if that fight happens, I think both sides retire. I think both sides just say, I've done it, I'm undisputed, there's nothing left for me to do. Maybe AJ might, and I say might, if AJ was to become undisputed, he might face Wilder just to shut the Americans up and say, and he might even do it on their soil just to say, this guy's not the boogeyman like you lot said. But further than that, I don't think the future generation motivates AJ as much to like go out there. And I feel like AJ should retire. If he does become undisputed, you've done it, man. You've clocked the game. You've got the money. Get out, because you don't want to see this sport retire you before you retire from the sport.
I was gonna say, I saw recently a video with Amir Khan, and he kind of said something similar. He goes, "Look, I'm going into this fight. I put on a bravado. Like my body wasn't there. I wasn't excited. I wasn't
way past it. Yeah.
He realized that. He goes, it was the money maker and the fight that the British fans wanted.
Yeah.
So I kind of see that. I want to talk into game plans going into this fight. Then I think for the first fight, it kind of took me off guard with how Usyk won the fight, in the sense that it was as controlling as it was.
Yeah.
So going to fight number 2, we've seen what's happened with Joshua changing his camp. Usyk, on the other hand, he looks a lot more leaner. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of him a week out. He looks like he's really in shape. What sort of changes should both guys be making going into this particular fight? Or in Usyk's case, who won the fight, should there be much differential changes?
I've seen that he's bulked up more, and what I think's happened is that a lot of people that watch the fight one time, they might be like, "Oh, Usyk dominated," but I think AJ gave him trouble. But Usyk's had such a good poker face that when AJ did give him trouble, he just kept on carrying on and battling through. And I think that's why when people are saying, "I don't understand why Usyk's changing anything," it's probably because they didn't see the finer details of when there were times when AJ tagged him, and Usyk might have been like, "Rah, like that hurt." And with AJ, it's a case of just committing to your game plan, because from the many interviews, from just seeing what we saw in the night, you could tell that too many chefs in that kitchen, and he didn't have a direct like instruction of where he wanted to go. He tried to outbox a boxer, which was the worst thing you can do. And I think what Robert Garcia is going to do is rather than teach him new things, is make him a hone in on who you are. Stop trying to, be this slick guy. Stop, which is good. Don't get me wrong. It's good to have that in the locker, but it doesn't mean that you have to use it as your plan A. You should know how to box. You should always be improving. That's a good thing. At the same time, commit to who you are. Be that person. Don't shy away from it. And I feel like this fight is when AJ's got to go in there and just embrace who he is. And from what he's shown in the past, one thing about AJ is I think very few people can understand like the pressure of many millions tuning in to watch you fight. And kudos to AJ, because he's shown that he will rise to the occasion. And I feel like this is the fight of fights that's going to define his legacy if he gets this win. Even if he goes on to become undisputed after this, I think this will define his legacy, as this was a biggest hurdle, not just physically, but mentally, to rise above it, to become 3-time champion, and also in regards to restructuring his camp and everything. So I think it's doable, because I think Lennox Lewis showed that there's a blueprint to do this, to recover and then become undisputed. So I think that's AJ's route, is just honing in on what made him him, not shying away from it and embracing it, and just going in there and put a shellacking on him. It's not going to be easy. He can't go in there too reckless. Like some people are just like, "I'll just go in there and punch him." I'm like, you think Usyk's just going to stand there and let you punch him? But Usyk's the favorite, but I'm still rooting for AJ. I'm God in him.
It's interesting because I was going to just literally touch on that. Is this a legacy defining moment for Joshua? Because if he wins here, boom, we're in a great territory here. You've got the belts. He's gone on his own. They can make the money. They can make more fights. But if he loses, how much of an appeal how much of the appeal of fighting Joshua does it drop?
The appeal of fighting Joshua is not going to drop, because he's too much of a stable name. This is what, like, when it's the same reason why Tyson Fury is retiring again near AJ's fight. You lot keep on, no matter how much they try to defame him, no matter how much they try to say he's not this, he's not that, you keep on doing things on his name. I can't. All these heavyweights, all you ever do is mention AJ. The guy's got nothing to do with your fights, and all you do is mention AJ, and then you try to say he's not the A side. He is. Even in a loss, he's the A side.
His branding is the A side.
It's not even his branding. It's him as general as a package. Pause. Because it's like whether it's Joe Joyce, whether it's Joe Parker, whether it's Tyson Fury, whether it's Wilder, all you guys keep on announcing your stuff near AJ. And AJ hasn't mentioned none of you guys. All AJ's done is prepare for his fight. But then in the same sentences, shall I say, some of these fighters will try to come out and be like, yeah, AJ's not that guy no more. He's this, that, and the third. If he's not that guy, stop mentioning him then. Build up your own name. Joe Joyce, you go and do 100K plus pay-per-views then on your name. Tyson Fury, we still don't even know how much pay-per-view buys you got for Dillian White. AJ, no matter what, unless AJ takes a drastic fall, God forbid, and starts losing like 3 or 4 or 5 on a shot, he is the A side because people keep on forgetting where British boxing was and what he brought to it because this country just likes to embrace hate instead of embracing great. The guy is the guy. His legacy alone will be he brought back UK boxing in a big way. A very big way. Because after Amir Khan went America, who was holding it down for UK boxing? Star-wise. Not accomplishment-wise, star-wise. When Amir Khan went to America to get that big money, UK was famished.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear you on that. And also, I'll say one more thing. I think he made stadium boxing look a normality.
No. Oh my, listen, thank you for saying this.
Well, it's not. But the idea that this particular fight could have done a stadium, but they couldn't have done it.
Listen, even like when people try to, this is what I mean about the weird behavior when people try to be like, yeah, see, AJ never got as many people in Wembley as Fury did. One stadium fight. This guy has multiple, but I'm going to turn into Booker T's telling people 5 times. I don't even know how much AJ's done stadiums.
I can't remember the last time an AJ fight happened that wasn't in a stadium.
I think the last time he had a fight that was in an arena was probably Dillian White. And since then, it's been stadiums. AJ could stunt on people so much more if he really wanted to. That's the funny thing. This guy could stunt on people so much more, and he chooses not to. But still, people try to belittle what he's done. I don't even wait. Go on.
It was Pulev the last time.
No, but that's different because that was in a panoramic.
Yeah, that
was in a panoramic, so that didn't even count.
Wembley, Povetkin, Cardiff Stadium, Wembley Stadium. It was Molina that I can see. Well, okay, he fought Andy Ruiz in Madison Square Garden, but we're gonna give that. But yeah, I feel like it's MSG, so it's a different.
Yeah, exactly. Just as big.
Manchester Arena, Eric Molina,
how many stadium fights is that then?
So that would be Wembley 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Saudi Arabia again arena. We're not counting that. I'm not 5. We've got 7 stadium fights. This will be a 7th stadium.
7, but AJ, man, he needs to start stunning on these people like he's Booker T and telling them 7 times, 7 times, 7 times, 7 times, 7. People stop playing with him, man.
Well, I want to talk about this fight then because of how the rights were to get a particular fight. Sky got it, I guess you could say, confirmed quite late. The promotion side of this fight, has it been a bit lackluster knowing that they had limited time to actually do
it's not limited time, man. It's both sides being petty. Matchroom are like, I think with Matchroom side, it's kind of like they've been paid. So whether Matchroom promoter or not, they've got a fix. From my understanding of it, Matchroom have their fixed fee of, cool, it's going to be your fighters on the card. So this is what you get. Pay-per-view wise, obviously that's when it goes to Sky. So on Sky side of things, I'm sure Sky are basically, from how I look at it, Sky's basically looking at it as it's our subscription model, but it's not our promoter. So Sky might just be like, I don't want to promote anything because, yeah, we're going to get pay-per-view, but if we keep on pumping this to the millions and pumping Matchroom, that's not our stablemate no more. So it's kind of like a proxy war happening between Sky and Matchroom, and it's very petulant. But I think at the same time, what's that? Sorry,
I was gonna say, in a way, because the fight is what it is, it doesn't really need much promotion. Like, you know the stars, you know the history.
oh yeah.
I guess in some ways they don't have to do much, but with that, I want to talk about just quickly on Usyk. Then, if he wins this fight, for some people who talk about pound for pound rankings and stuff, is it the unanimous pound for pound number one?
I think because it's heavyweight, it's not really seen as pound for pound. Pound for pound is normally reserved for cruiserweight and under. So, excuse me. I don't think they need to worry. Like, when they try to throw in Tyson Fury in that pound for pound stuff, I'm like, this is just pure agenda, because what is he doing there? Heavyweights are not meant to be in pound for pound. Unless the only time I want to see a heavyweight in pound for pound is if they get undisputed, or if it's like a special situation where Usyk came from cruiserweight and then got the heavyweight belt. That's pound for pound. But normally, from my understanding of pound for pound ranking, it was like for those skilled underneath it. But regardless, AJ's not going to get put in a pound for pound, because for whatever reason, people just hate on his success for is what it is. And like I said, I'm sure at this point, AJ's just thinking to himself, listen, just give me my belts and my respect. He said that. He said in an interview on JD with Savage Dan. It's just like, just give me my respect. And at this point, forget about the respect, AJ. Go in there and do it for you. Stop F all these people, man. Go in there and do it for you. Because for the amount of accomplishments that he's had, for the amount of things that he's done for this nation, they still don't show him love. And it's the same way with Amir Khan. Went through that for a bit, and I didn't blame Amir Khan for going to America, because it was just like what Amir Khan had done in 2000 and was it 2004 or 8?
4.
What he done in 2004 for British boxing, people didn't show him enough love during his career, because he took a few knockdowns, but the way people used to laugh at Amir Khan, and it wasn't until he lost after Kell Brook that they started looking back and saying, do you know what? We actually can't hate on Amir Khan, because what he done for British boxing, I can't imagine what he done for like Asian people in the UK that's into boxing. I've seen that Adam Azim, or the Azim brothers, speak about their,
it's literally a generational wave.
Yeah, generational influence of what Amir Khan's done for them. And I feel like with AJ, he has to accept that whilst you're doing this, they're not going to show you love. So go out there and do it for yourself. Those who are close to you will show you love. And when your career is done and hopefully you go out on a high, they'll give you your credit that you want then. Because the same way with Lennox Lewis as well. Lennox Lewis done the best thing. He went out on a high. He took the losses. He came back from the losses with a vengeance. He beat the prior generation. He beat his current generation. Then he beat the future generation when he beat Klitschko. And then he retired. And that's what I want for AJ. Retire before the sport retires you.
Just one final thing then before we get predictions. Fury vacated the Ring Magazine title. So that's now on the line as well, lineal title and stuff. So you can't even have that claim anymore. I guess going into that as well, having that on the line as well, is that going to add a little bit more fuel to the fire? Or is it just a case of go ahead, do your job, business as usual for both fighters?
It's going to be business as usual, but I do feel like the WBC has given Fury, I think, because they're probably starting getting tired of all this retiring.
Slowly.
So I got a feeling if AJ wins, miraculously, Fury's then going to be like, oh yeah, I gave you that belt, you dosser, just because for charity, or I felt sorry for you. Let's make this undisputed. You know what he's going to do.
He said that
and if Usyk wins, that's when Fury's going to say, it's been nice. What more can I do? Everyone only cares about the WBC belt anyway, because he knows his money fight's gone. He's not going to face Usyk. Excuse me. If Usyk wins, Fury will not face Usyk. I'm telling you that now.
Okay.
He is not going to face Usyk if Usyk wins. If AJ wins, that's his retirement fund. And guess what? To all you Fury lovers, you're not going to get it for free. despite the BS that he tried to say. You will not get it for free. Listen, man. Unlike Fury, Usyk stuck to his word, tried to buy the rights, and then the rights all holders even said, "Here, you can get it for free for your country." That's how it's done. Usyk didn't need to do some stupid press conference or some stupid fans tour when he's telling them he's going to get it to them for free, even though the previous week he then said, "I needed $500 million." The way these guys try to eat off AJ's name is disgusting, bro.
Do you know what? I'll say this: as much as the Fury fight with AJ is there, I personally, I'll go on. I think I would prefer watching Deontay Wilder versus AJ myself. I know Wilder's coming back in October, I want to say.
And that's the reason why I think he's revealed this now. If AJ loses, Wilder is definitely going to say he's going to take that fight with Hellenius, and then he's going to call out AJ. And I'm sure AJ will oblige if AJ loses, but we ain't speaking on that. We want AJ wins.
But what we are speaking on before we wrap up is predictions. I'm not doing head over heart, none. I just want one name. Joshua or Usyk, who wins? Because
it's AJ. Even if it's heart over head, pause. It's AJ.
I'm with you as well. I honestly think this guy is going into this fight. I mean, I know what Usyk's done, everything, but I just can't personally see Joshua losing twice. And I think he's going in. This is the first time he's going into a fight where he's actually classed as the underdog. I'm talking
the big time underdog. Yeah.
This is the first time. Even when he lost to Ruiz, the second fight, he was still the favorite because we knew that it was a bit of an upset victory. Here, he's going in as a genuine underdog. And I still don't think he's that big of an underdog as he is. I think it's more 50-50 or a call and fight.
I think he didn't fight the way he needed to fight. And this time, he's hopefully, Robert Garcia is going to get his head right to fight in a way that he needs to. And I feel like if we get at AJ, even if we go out there guns blazing, I just want him to be able to say hand over heart, win or lose. That was the best me out there. And if he loses, then it is where it is. Go into the sunset knowing what you've done for boxing. Face Wilder, defeat him in America if you need to. And I bet you get, and once again, like I said, even in the AJ loss, Joe Joyce is going to want to call him out. Dubois is going to want to call him out. Dillian White's going to want that second fight. All these guys are still going to be calling for AJ's name. That is the cash cow. And kudos to him for putting in that work. But F all of that loser talk. AJ wins, point blank, period.
I'm with you on that. I'll take AJ as well. But with that, guys, we are going to wrap up our preview of Usyk versus Joshua 2. If you're enjoying the content, you know what to do. Drop us a like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. In the comments below, let us know your predictions as well. Are you Team Usyk, Team Joshua? Where do you think this fight's going to be won or lost? And also, is AJ the cash cow in boxing right now, or is it Canelo? Let us know about that as well, because that's an interesting take that you gave that. But we'll be back next week breaking down the fight, as well as other big headlines and stories as well. But as always, guys, stay weighed in.